final. And,
David, yes.
So 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minute. 2 minute countdown, Mr. Lindsay.
It's wild up there with those fans.
Got you, thank you. And for Casey here, directing studio question, are we going to start out on 1, both of us, or in the whole time? Or do you want me to read off 2 first? Start on camera 1. Gotcha. All right. I think we're What's up, Panthers 360 family? You're on your holiday break. Maybe you're on your lunch break today on a Monday. Thank you for joining us for this special portion of Panther 360 right here on your WPTV YouTube page live. Get your questions, comments in because, boy, we got a 2-for-1 today. Listen, not only are we joined by sports reporter for WPTV, John Barron, in the house today covering your Panthers inside and out, but behind us here, joining us via Zoom, Mr. Bill Lindsay, not only a former Florida Panther star, but your radio color analyst for your Panther home games. Bill, first of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Here we go. Here we go. Listen,
the holiday season.
yeah. Listen, we could keep singing about that, but it means a busy season for the Florida Panthers for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
They are heating up. They're playing hot right now, and on the minds of everybody is when's Chucky coming back? When's Chucky coming back?
Yeah, time's ticking. A lot of people looking for it.
It's soon. Bill, we could see him on the ice very soon. What are you hearing in the building? Because at last check, Coach Paul Maurice said we're in the time where the doctors can sign off to come back to practice, and he can bring that note and come out hot, right?
That's just when the doctors do sign off it, everything's gone to plan. He's on schedule with the recovery, and it was supposed to be around Christmas time, late December, that he was going to come back into the lineup. Just getting a look. Once he gets the green light to start practicing with the team, he's been skating on his own. But once he gets the practice, I would imagine if you get him into 4 or 5 practices, ramps up, starts to feel pretty good, then you're going to get the okay from the coaching staff, everybody, that Chuck could return. So it's imminent. It's getting very, very close. Just a couple more hurdles to go through, and Matthew Tkachuk will be back in the Florida Panthers lineup very shortly.
Yeah, easily a top 20 player in the NHL right now. In fact, we heard from head coach Paul Maurice about Tkachuk's return. Not necessarily a date right now, but here's what he had to say. Listen to this.
Yeah, he hasn't fallen off. Like, he's right on it. We're kind of moving into the phase of the doctors starting to sign off on him coming back to our practices. I don't know when that's going to be. It might be we don't practice, so how would I know? But he hasn't had a setback. He's on track. He's on the ice. He gets off the ice every day, and he's feeling stronger.
So let's talk about this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Barkov out. Tkachuk out.
Yeah.
Kulikov out. How impressed are you with this team that we're sitting here, 4,
Halfway
5 points
point.
maybe behind the leaders, and we're talking about Brad Marchand, Sam Reinhart, these guys keeping it together. How impressed are you with how this team has done with losing their captain and their alternate?
Championship mentality. Very impressed with this season and what they're trying to do, but it all starts with the understanding of knowing who you are as a team, having a DNA, identity, culture established. The Panthers have all of that, and because of that, it can be plug and place. It might not look the same with Kachuk and Barkov out of the lineup, but the systems are there. Everyone is on the same page, and this team is together. There's a bond and a trust, and they play for each other, and that's a big part of this success, that they're being able to hold it together, stay right in the mix in the Atlantic, in the Eastern Conference. So job well done. But you look at the last couple of years when it gets where your season could fall off or really have a bad turn, the Panthers always seem to have an answer. So you have 11 of 12 games at home. It's not going very well. You lose an overtime game to Nashville. You have 2 games left on that homestand. They're back-to-back. It's Columbus. It's the New York Islanders. And then you have to go out on a brutal road trip. You're in the midst of where your season could be potentially out of reach. But this is where this team has the ability to handle adversity. You win those last 2 games of that homestand. You go out on the road trip, and it's Utah, it's Colorado, Dallas, and end up with the Cross-State rivalry with Tampa Bay. You win 3 of those 4 games there, and come back home. You've won 2 or 3 since. Right back into the mix, and that's what impresses me about this team. When they need to dig deep, when they need to have an answer, it always seems to be there, and that's partly just the understanding that we trust in each other, we trust in our systems and what we're trying to do. So they're able to come through, and they're right back into that mix. So it's equally impressive, but I've just seen it over the last 3 years happen time and time again. So it's not the hugest surprise, but it always seems to be there.
It is incredible to see this team gel, but shoot, we saw them gel in the last. Some have been on this for 3 seasons now, with 3 straight finals and the last 2 back-to-back Stanley Cup champion. Let me talk about back-to-backs, though. You are a former longtime player, Bill, and back-to-back games. Boy, the Panthers have seen a lot of them, even so far this season.
Handled them well, by the way.
Handled them well. You know, they had the overtime win. It was just a thrilling victory against Carolina. And then, you know, you could kind of see it even as a fan against the Blues the next day. They're kind of tired. From a player's perspective, how brutal is a back-to-back schedule? How do you feel by that third period of that back-to-back game?
I personally hated back-to-back games. Toughest thing on the body, especially after our emotional win against Carolina, trying to get back up and ramp it back into that stage. I was talking off air with you guys. It's like in a very, very intense workout that you go through, and everything's elevated. You're in that zone, and you have to go back and try and repeat that exact same thing the next day. Extremely tough on the body, especially with all the hockey the Panthers have played over the course of the last 3 years. So I watched that St. Louis game and got the understanding right off the bat, it's not there. The legs aren't there. So hang around. Just try and you can piece it together. You always hear in the locker room, you'll hear chatter, 30 seconds, guys, let's get off the ice. Let's keep our tempo. Let's try not to make mistakes, and we can get back into this. And that's what happened. They score a goal. Greer gets one in front. Then they get a power play. Two power plays in a row. Score a power play goal. It's 2-2. Mm-hmm. That was the burst of energy that you needed. You're back into it, but it's tough to chase. And Justin Falk, with 0.8 seconds on the clock, got that goal for St. Louis.
Yeah.
To recover and overcome that, and into that third period, St. Louis continued to push and get after us in that third. We just didn't have an answer, and there's games that are going to be like that. The benefit for the Panthers and teams that are in the top, if you, say, went 500 on that road trip, ended that homestand badly, all of a sudden you're in must-win scenarios. The Panthers aren't there because of this winning streak that they've been able to put together. So you can afford it. You would like to win that St. Louis game. You're hoping to. There is a chance that you can win it, but everything has to go right. It just didn't, and a few blunders. But because of what you were able to do in the last couple of weeks leading up to it, it's a loss that you can take. And now we have a huge one coming up against Carolina. Then we'll have the the Christmas break, but the Carolina game is going to be massive. Is trying to finish off at the Christmas standings. If you win that game, you're right there in the Atlantic Division and those Carolina matchups. We have some great rivalries established because of the playoffs and over the last 3 years. And Carolina is one of the greatest rivalries that we have. So a big game before the Christmas break, tough loss. Back-to-back games are just brutal, just awful to play through as a player. Hard to really describe.
Fair point.
Yeah, you want to talk about some hard games. That Carolina game is going to be hard after the hit on Jarvis and, what's going on. So I can guarantee it's going to get a little chippy, but you know what? Panthers are ready for it. Well, let's talk a little bit more about just what you've seen out of this organization. Is it a bigger deal to see them win back-to-back or have the Winter Classic come here to the state of Florida? I mean, they had to literally reinvent the wheel to be able to figure out how to keep that ice from melting. So what is something that you would say is the bigger deal between those two?
Winning back-to-back Stanley Cup championships, that gets you the Winter Classic. That puts you on the map. That gives you an opportunity. If you're not in the playoffs, if you're not succeeding, there's no chance that you get a chance to host the Winter Classic. So this is all built off the winning the Panthers have been able to do in the last 3-4 years. And the consistent brand. But back-to-back champions, three cups in a row is really, it's almost dynasty talk. Especially if you're able to get back to a final this year, maybe get a third, then you're one of the best teams in all of history in the salary cap era. So what they're doing, if you would have asked me, though, in 1993 when I first got down here, we had one little practice rink up in Pompano that we would be playing outdoors, I would have said you're crazy. Now we got 8-9 rinks. They're building another. Gretzky's building another huge one up in West Palm. It's growing, and just to see the evolvement of hockey since the time I've been down here in the 30-plus years is stunning. So this is just kind of a cherry on top icing game, this outdoor classic. Marlin Stadium, tons of people there. It's going to be delicious for all the fans. It's going to be a treat. I can't wait for it. But we've had so many thrilling things to go through, and this is just another byproduct of winning. You get a chance to have an outdoor game.
It is special. And,
Absolutely.
And Bill, I'll tell you, I went back and it was on YouTube. I listened to your call of the 2024 Stanley Cup Championship, the final, with those final minutes ticking off. You've seen this game, this great game of hockey, through so many lenses, through as a player, television, and radio. When it comes to the radio broadcast, and when fans are they have the option to listen to your team, you and Doug. What is it about listening to on the radio that gives you a different perspective of a hockey game that you might not when you watch the TV or you're even in person?
So there are two different rules. TV, you can see what's going on. And as an analyst, my one job is why. I got to tell you what's happening on the ice. But on radio, you can see with the pictures. So the difference on radio for myself is describing the why with also painting a picture in your mind that you can sort of grab a handle on. I'm working with one of the best play-by-play guys there is in Doug Plagans. His ability to be clean, not make mistakes with energy and tempo is truly amazing. And that sets it up for myself to really go along and pushes myself. Look, I got to be good. I got to push. I make some mistakes, and I don't feel bad for myself. I feel bad for Doug. He works so hard, so clean. So it's about painting a picture and why. Like, I have to give you a picture over radio, but most importantly, I got to give you a why. As an analyst, one thing that you're trying to do on a play is everyone can see, okay, well, that's a beautiful pass on that 2-on-1. But unpeel the layer deeper. What happened before? Oh, there was a big save down at the other end. Then there was a bad pinch on the boards, a beautiful play to get it out. The deeper I can peel that onion for you and describe it to you is I'm going to get deeper into the why. Deeper. I'm always trying to get deeper into why something happened. And if I have numbers to support it or analytics to back it up, I will use that. But radio is painting a picture, try and create a vivid image in your mind. And Doug is there to describe it so you can kind of get that image going back and forth. And then once it stops, I'm there to kind of paint that image, but give you a clear, clarified why everything is happening on the ice.
Well, I would recommend to any fan listen to Doug and Bill call a game because it's special. It's been special over these last couple of seasons as well. But, John, I got to ask Bill while he's here. Bill, you were on the OG team, the team that made the first Stanley Cup final for the Florida Panthers, and now you're calling these back-to-back championships and another final run. Compare the vibe in South Florida back in the 90s when you made the Stanley Cup final compared to the last 2 years. Has the fan base grown even more? Is it completely different time frames or much of the same?
Yeah,
well, we got it back. It was smoking out of the gates. I still have a lot of respect for our original team and our group of guys that we put together. We were committed to the market. It was going, and it was loud in Miami Arena. That's the one difference. But we were committed. We didn't have the talent that they have on this team now, but we gave everything on and off the ice. We built the culture. We had the fans. So I knew it was a possibility down here to work. You could see it if you're winning. But you have to win. We have lots of years of losing, telling the fan base we're going to be better next year. It's going to happen. And it just never does. You start to lose faith and everything. What happened with Mr. Viola, same thing with Mr. Huizenga. They come in and they are committed to the organization from ownership all the way down to staff in the office staff, the trainers, management, scouting, everything that they do. There's a purpose. They want their job. They want you to do your best and go out and handle it. And that creates a strong, firm culture. So to be back and to see this with this talent, it's better with the back-to-back championships. This is the greatest thing we've ever seen. It was good in the 90s, but this team has brought it back to a new level. It's grown, and it is like Barkov. We had good players back then, Ben Beesbrook and that. We got superstars now, guys. Like Chuck's, as you talked off air, one of the top in the league. Barkov, definitely a top 5-10 NHL superstar. Back end, Sergei Bobrovsky, future Hall of Famer. We got a future Hall of Famer in our coach, Paul Maurice. You go down to the rink and watch these guys play. They earn it. And that's what I'm most respectful of this group, is that if you will go watch them play, they don't take nights off.
Yeah.
They work. And that's a belief and a love. So it all filters down. And what you have now in the organization and through the fan base is when you're able to build love amongst yourself and trust in that dressing room, then you start to have a full belief and care for that person sitting next beside you, whether it's an office staff or a trainer or a player or coach or me with Doug. Look, I have to do my absolutely best. I do not want to let Doug Plagens down in any shape or fashion. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole culture. That's what you build. It's better. It's the best. It's thrilling. There's not enough adjectives to describe, to put into words, the yelling and screaming after the 24th Stanley Cup that you talked about, the emotions coming out. If you're a hockey fan, you have to really pay attention to this. And last year in the playoffs, this is the one thing that I really made sure that I did, is that I wanted to cherish every moment that second year. All the press conferences, look around, take it in, soak it in. The first time, because I started to realize this may never happen again. It might, but we're in a situation here as an organization and a fan. We are seeing greatness. We're seeing greatness, mm-hmm. and it is very fleeting in any sport that greatness comes along. To be considered one of the best teams, this will be considered one of the best teams in NHL history. So you have, just as a fan, if you're out there, or anyone following, or myself, just make sure you cherish this team and these people and the coach and the organization and soak it in, because they've earned it, they've worked for it, and this is, as you go each and every step of the way, this is something that for the rest of your lifetime, this will always, always be remembered.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be strange in 20 years when I'm taking my kids to a Panthers game. Look up in the rafters and I'll be like, yeah, all those guys actually played together. Same years.
Yeah, we are living in the moment, but certainly cherishing every moment of that. John covering the Panthers, almost every game there at Amerant Bank Arena, and we bring it to you here on Panthers 360. Bill Lindsay, thank you so much for taking part of your day, joining us, and I hope the fans appreciate this. When you go back and watch this on YouTube, Bill, we did have some still pictures of you in the crease 3 scoring some goals. So we know you had it, and we know you bring it every game. Look forward to hearing you on the radio with Doug Plegans. Don't forget, get your questions and comments in. We join an analyst like Bill every Monday, 12:15 on the WPTV YouTube page. All right, that's the end of the third period for you, Bill. No overtime here. We'll see you.
Right.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for everything that you're doing up in Palm Beach and all the work and the commitments. It's much appreciated. Thank you.
No, thank you, Bill. Thank you. We'll see you soon. John, let's talk about the Winter Classic.
Let's get a gander over there.
Okay, huh? Let's travel the studio here, Panthers 360. I don't know if we're all going to the Winter Classic, but maybe you are.
Unfortunately, I will be out.
Okay.
I will miss that.
Kendall
I'm
Hyde
a little
will be
upset
there.
about that, but Kendall Hyde will get a great opportunity, and that'll be something that he's going to cherish. We've talked about that. You want to talk about something, though? I love the fact that Florida's getting so much recognition.
Love
The Winter Classic, we even talked to the guy.
Yep.
He even said, listen, we had to reinvent the wheel. It's kind of been exciting because we have to find a way to not have the ice melt. But you guys deserve the Winter Classic. You guys have won 2 Stanley Cup championships. I mean, this is amazing. So for him to be able to get to the chance of the Winter Classic is awesome because he and I have both fallen in love with hockey since we've gotten here.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah.
And the fan base just keeps growing and growing. So speaking of the Winter Classic, they already started prepping for it, if you can believe, down there at Lone Depot Park where the Marlins plays Cruz, converting that baseball field into a sheet of ice. Kendall Hyde got to talk to him. Take a look.
I'll tell you what, you probably thought you'd never see ice touch down in South Florida, did you? Well, I'll tell you what, thanks to our Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, our wildest dreams are now coming to fruition.
To the naked eye, you might think that they're doing work at Lone Depot, and you're right, but it's not for a baseball game. It's for a hockey match.
The innocence or the romance of the game, to have an outdoor hockey game, and then the spectacle that it's become in the NHL.
The spectacle that Bill Zito speaks of is the Winter Classic, which will feature the back-to-back Stanley Cup champs, the Florida Panthers, as they take on the New York Rangers.
It's not impressed as much as it is. It'll be an overused word. You're going to hear it from everybody. Excited and appreciative that so many people have supported our sport and supported the Panthers.
Now get this, the Classic started back in 2008 and has been held in several places, but Florida has never been the event's home.
The neat part here for us at Lone Depot Park is I think things are going to go really smooth. We'll be able to close in the building, keep everything conditioned.
On Wednesday, the refrigerator trailers arrived at Lone Depot, marking the first step in the rink building process. But you have to hear how they plan to keep the ice at the correct temperatures.
There is actually no armor deck under the rink itself, so it'll just be the bare turf. But then you're right, it's a laser level stage deck. Then our pans go down on top of that, and then we start to build the ice on top of the pans.
Now a fun fact for you, at Amerant Bank Arena, the Cats ice is about 1.5 inches thick. But at Lone Depot, with the uncontrollable climate, they have to keep it at about 2.5 inches thick just to make sure everything is a go. Still, with all the challenges presented, this should be one of the most exciting Winter Classics yet. I hope I can see you there. At Lone Depot, I'm Kendall Hyde, WPTV News.
First off, shout out to Chevron for letting Kendall get in their ice box.
That's the first time I saw that. And to say he goes above and beyond for the story.
You got to love it.
Prevalent right
I
there.
mean, you have to.
Love it,
you see, hockey has such an influence on him.
does.
He's going above and beyond for the stories, so you got to love that.
He's just showing how cold it's going to be, and it is just wild to think because the Winter Classic over the years, you see it in the cold weather like St. Louis, Detroit, Chicago, and it's snowing. You get it. Okay, it's outside.
Yeah.
We're here in Florida, man, and this is awesome.
I think the one thing is not only keeping the ice cold. You got to think about these guys. I mean, you're wearing the padding, the armor. I mean, you guys are also wearing long sleeves, so they're going to be out there. I can only imagine going over to the bench. It's going to be like back in Pompano where they're getting water and they're like sweating. So I mean, they're already sweating as it is, but you got to imagine that they're going to probably be a little warm too. So I would like to know what they're going to be doing inside the boxes as well. Are they going to be putting fans on or whatnot? Because I don't care what you say, January in Florida is always going to be a little warm.
A little warm,
but
you know what? Those jerseys are fire.
Oh yeah, you gotta love them. I know a couple people in the office already got them. So
yeah, for sure. And you see them at the home games and even the away games. So listen, that has been our analyst segment here, extended version, so you could see Kendall's story there at Lone Depot Park, getting ready for the Winter Classic. Hey, it's Christmas week. We're glad you're joining us for this 12:15, your lunch break holiday, wherever you are on your day. We do this every 12:15 Monday on YouTube, WPTV's YouTube TV channel. Listen. John Barron. John Barron bringing it in a 2-for-1 special today. Don't forget, catch your Panthers 360, not only the analyst segment there, 12:15, but you can watch it every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. on South Florida's 9. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. Let's go, Cats. This is Panthers 360.
Just a heads up. Just a heads up. I can only imagine a couple people sitting there filling up their tanks of gas and seeing a grown man getting in their ice box.
Like, what is he, and why is he videotaping?